Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full-time
MMA.
TJ Dillashaw believes Demetrious Johnson is ducking him, he revealed when asked by a pesky TMZ guy. He said, do you believe that Demetrious Johnson is dipping you? And TJ was like, and another TMZ guy was like, what is dipping? Like, you mean, like, is he trying to dance with me? Like, and I had to correct him. I think the word is ducking. He said, okay, do you believe that Demetrious Johnson is ducking you? He asked him the question. And TJ said, I do believe so. He's comfortable fighting the guys he's fighting. I think I bring the real threat to the table that he's not willing to accept. Now, this is interesting, and we discussed it for a little bit on Full-Time MMA in the evening yesterday. But my thing is, with Demetrious Johnson, that's a rap he gets for sure. He's ducking the guys in the higher weight class. But the thing is, man, to be fair to Demetrious, he's a really small guy. That's why he's fighting at 125 pounds, and he's reluctant to go up to 135 pounds because he's fought there in the past. He fought Dominic Cruz, and he really made Dominic Cruz look like a giant in there. I mean, both of these guys are 125, 135 pounds, but when Demetrious Johnson was in there with Dominic Cruz was looking like a world beater. And now, to be fair, Dominic Cruz is a world beater, but I'm talking about size. Demetrious Johnson's just a smaller dude, so I wonder, could he fight at 115 pounds? And now, I'm not advocating that. I'm not advocating the UFC 115-pound men division unless you're trying to recruit dudes straight out of middle school. But at the same time, to be fair to Demetrious, he's just a smaller guy. So, you know, you don't usually call someone ducking or say they're afraid for not going up a weight class, right? Let's just look at some of these other weight classes. Is there really a lot of people that would be saying Max Holloway is scared if he never offered to go up and fight Khabib? Is there a lot of people that say Cody Garbrandt is scared if he's not talking about going up and fighting Max Holloway? You never hear that. But for Demetrious Johnson, it's a little different. And it might be because he's already fought up there in the past and people know he would lose up there, or he's got a really good chance like he did against Dominic Cruz. And some people might just want to see Demetrious lose because right now he's billed as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. And some people, it doesn't rock too well with them. Even though if you go off of skill, well-rounded skill, that's got Demetrious Johnson's name all over it. But he's not a guy, when you're talking about going up and down weight divisions, that has success. We see Conor McGregor became the champ. And ever since Conor McGregor won 2 belts in the UFC, everybody's kind of got that pressure. There's multiple champion versus champion super fights that have been discussed now. Demetrious versus TJ, Cyborg versus Nunes. One of them's actually happened. Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic is coming up. So a lot of people are looking at champions, especially the champions that are looked at as the pound-for-pound best fighters on the planet. Like, okay, where's your second belt? And for Demetrious Johnson, he's kind of comfortable just staying where he's at and not getting a second belt. He's like, hey, I don't have to win a second belt to be the greatest of all time. I'll just keep fucking blowing up these flyweights. Henry Cejudo, a lot of people feel like the flyweights aren't the best division out there because they're so small. But another caveat is, hey, they're only 10 pounds under 135 pounds. You know, people love Cody Garbrandt's fighting style, you know, maybe because he knocks dudes out and whatnot. But Demetrious finishes guys as well. Henry Cejudo's an Olympian gold medalist, I believe. If it wasn't gold, I'm mistaken. But he's still an Olympic-level wrestler, Henry Cejudo. So to be able to beat him in 3 minutes, finish him in 3 minutes, is beyond impressive for Demetrious Johnson. But it doesn't stick. He's not selling pay-per-views. The fans ain't riding with it. They're like, okay, maybe you can go up and win a belt. But that's where the fucking roadblock comes in, because he's like, nah, I've been up there before. I don't know if I want to go back up there just to make you guys happy when I could just keep sitting here on top of the pound-for-pound fucking rankings list, beating up these flyweights until I turn 40 and someone eventually figures me out. But as of right now, Demetrious Johnson is kind of content. And when you're content, you're not really hungry to move up to another weight class. So with that being said, TJ Dillashaw believes that's a sign of ducking. I don't feel comfortable saying Demetrious Johnson is ducking anybody because he's one of the best fighters on the planet. He got in there with everyone in his division, and just because he doesn't want to go up a weight class, I don't think it's fair to say he's ducking. But at the same time, it would be a great fight, Demetrious versus TJ. And when you talk about going down weight classes, that's where ducking does come into play with Demetrious Johnson. Because there's TJ Dillashaw, yeah, if you're going up, that's not ducking. But TJ Dillashaw did offer to come down to 125. That might be where people say, I don't know about that, DJ. You've got a champion talking about coming down to your weight class and fighting you, and you're saying no? I don't know about that. But you know, that's a argument that I understand. If you're saying Demetrious Johnson's ducking TJ because he wouldn't accept the fight at 125, I'm not going to argue that. That could be ducking. But Demetrious Johnson, of course, has had his explanation. In my opinion, it wasn't good enough. I'm not going to lie. I'm not just going to be fucking politically correct. Once TJ Dillashaw offered to come down and you said no, that looks like ducking to me. Because he offered to come to your weight class. It's not an issue of fighting the bigger man anymore. Now, if TJ Dillashaw missed weight trying to make it, then don't take the fight. You know what I'm saying? If you're Demetrious Johnson, I'm not going to fight TJ if he comes in 5 pounds over. But if he comes in and makes the weight, there's not really an excuse for you not fighting this guy. If TJ Dillashaw shows up at 125 pounds, you got someone in your weight class that has legitimate skills people want to see. So when Demetrious Johnson turns that down, that's definitely skeptical hippo eyes. Like, okay, DJ, I can't rock with that. So we'll see what happens, man, especially after UFC 227, because these guys are fighting on the same card. Demetrious Johnson's fighting a rematch with Henry Cejudo. TJ Dillashaw's fighting a rematch with Cody Garbrandt. If they're both successful in the rematch, like they were the first fight, then there's a very real possibility that champion versus champion super fight can't be denied anymore. Maybe the UFC's even willing to pay Demetrious to do it at 125. Because if Demetrious Johnson could get the flat $1 million to fight, he might even go up. He might take the fight, but I think with Demetrious Johnson, he's kind of looking at this as a money thing. Like, everyone's telling me this is a super fight, but I'm still getting paid like I'm Demetrious Johnson. You know what I'm saying? I'm still getting paid like a regular fight. So if y'all want me to fight in what you guys call a super fight, I need super fight money. I don't give a damn if you think I'm not selling the fight. I'm the champion, I'm the pound for pound #1, and without me, we don't have a super fight. So I'll either keep fucking fighting these flyweights, or you guys can pay me $1 million or however much I need for this super fight. I see all the money going around in the UFC. I see motherfucking $4 billion, ESPN deals, motherfucking Reebok. I know what's going on, brother. I'm the champion. I need some money. You know what I'm saying? He's just being a businessman, and when you look at it like that, you kind of get it, because how many times do you have to hear, yeah, this is a sport, but over everything, it's a business? How many times do you have to see CM Punk on the pay-per-view before you realize this is a business? You know what I'm saying? So with Demetrious Johnson, he's kind of playing business here. You know, the fan of the sport is what makes you really want to see the fight. But if you were Demetrious Johnson and you weren't liking how the business was sounding, you might be feeling the same way. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. It's the channel's birthday. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And before we go, shout out to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you want to become a full-time MMA blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, or black belt, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/fulltimemma. I'm out.
Bye, Felicia.